Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oops.
Come join us as we make contact with the cosmos at the first annual Michigan UFO Contact Convention in Hope Lake, Michigan at the Lakeside Resort and Conference Center on September 22nd, 2018. Join us as we encounter the likes of Nick Bedford, Erica Lukes, John Tenney, Bill Konkolensky, Steve Ward, and Andrea Perrin, who will be singing in our space family to come join us. Enjoy the many vendors, healers, psychics, for all your paranormal and metaphysical desires. Tickets are on sale at MichiganUFOCon, Ticketleaf.com. The mothership doors open at 10 a.m. Saturday, September 22nd, 2018. Come be a part of this amazing journey and help us get one step closer to full disclosure. This event is sponsored by Debonair DeRoos of ETS, Extraterrestrial Truth Seekers, and Mike Smith of Para Expeditions.
I was so having fun with that.
Yes, I saw that. Plus, I forgot to play the Mars. Let me play that.
Okay, go ahead and play that Mars real quick. And then I can have even more fun. I gotta adjust my mic anyways. Hi, Ruben. Welcome to the show. We still gotta pop that Mars on here real quick, and then we'll be...
You are listening to feature programming on the Mystical Awakenings Network. This show is for entertainment purposes only. The hosts of this show are not medical professionals, lawyers, or counselors. Following any advice from anyone on this show, including our guests, is at your own risk, and the host, guests, or Mystical Awakenings LLC will not be held responsible.
Okay, here we go. Welcome to
Echo.
Mystical...
Oh, hold on. I know why. Hold on.
Yeah, that's because we're hearing it from your laptop.
Let me mute my laptop.
There we go.
There we go. Hopefully that just took care of that echo.
Yeah, Ruben, just let us know you can hear us, okay? That'd be appreciated.
Anyways, welcome to this Mother's Day edition of Chambers of the Paranormal. I usually let you do the intro, I'm sorry.
That's okay, no problem. I don't mind tonight. Ruben is waving, so obviously you can hear us.
Okay, all right,
I
good.
got last week's issue figured out.
Yes, and the funny thing is, you know, you let me do the intro tonight for Chambers of the Paranormal, and I just have to say, you know, you're such a great guy because you let me kidnap you, drive your truck, and take my mother on a 45-minute trip to the north, to the woods.
Yep, we did that, but I got a good 35-minute nap on the way back.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. So, you know.
So it worked out.
So, like I said, happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers that we have out there listening and watching the show. And
yeah, just so because Ruben wasn't here last week, or not last week, 2 weeks ago, because we were off last week because we were in hell.
Hell, Michigan. We weren't in hell. We were in Hell, Michigan.
Okay, you can say it that way. I'll say it the other way because I know Tubby doesn't listen in all the time, especially when she's out of town.
Yes, she's at her other property. So,
but I had one of the things on the mixer turned down too far, and we had 1 hour of nothing.
Complete silence on the Mystical Awakenings Radio Network on blogtalkradio.com. Brought to you by Whoops.
Yeah, brought to you by Oh My God, I screwed up.
but you know, hey, we figured it out, and you know, we have everything figured out, so you can help Deb and RJ hook their show up because they're starting to do the live broadcasts as well.
Right, because we are now broadcasting on Facebook Live also. So unfortunately, we have to watch our language a little bit. Not too much on Facebook, but I also pop them up on YouTube, and there's a language thing there, you know.
Yeah, you know, and, you know, I'm the queen of dropping the accidental F-bomb.
Yep, and I am an expert at now editing that out.
I want you to get a, like, little clip of me saying, like, the blue star or something when I do my, like, the blue star. Ah! And, you know, just...
I have to get a little better at the editing software for that, though. So, let's see. 3 minutes into it already. And
we haven't talked about anything.
No, but the thing is we usually have an intro song, but the same thing on...
we're figuring out the glitches.
Right, and on Facebook Live, they will actually, we discovered on the first broadcast, they will actually mute any songs you play that are copyrighted songs. So I uploaded one a couple weeks ago, and I didn't check to see how long it uploaded it for, but it was a 3-minute music, the uncopyrighted music that somebody put up on YouTube that says you can use it for
Hi,
free.
Kelly.
And unfortunately, when I uploaded it to the main switchboard or
It was
control
like
room,
9
it
minutes.
was 9
and it was
minutes
silence.
long, so it was silent. So once again, working out technical difficulties. Yeah. Hi, Kelly. How are you doing tonight?
So, but we're super excited to be able to do it this way because there is so much more interaction with the people who watch or listen into the show that kind of can give us input and, ask questions while we're doing the show, a little bit broader reach.
Right, than just on Blog Talk, because we get a couple people here and there on Blog Talk that listen in and join the chat room like Ruben is tonight. Tonight we only got Kelly so far listening in and watching in on Facebook, but
it is Mother's Day, so people might be
Day.
eating or out having fun in the gardens.
Right, so you can watch it later, or you can listen to the radio broadcast on Blog Talk after. Either way, it works.
Yes.
And I just like the Facebook Live because it actually keeps a lot better records I've discovered on how many people actually watch our silly ass show sometimes. Oh, and there I just said ass. Now I got to edit my own self out.
It was you this time, it wasn't me. It was you this time, it wasn't me.
Yeah, I know, for once. But also using a different camera tonight for the Facebook Live,
Yes.
using 1080 HD, actually old V8 or micro 8mm Handycam.
I can only tell you it's a Handycam because I can see it.
Right. And it's on your computer, it's showing up a lot clearer than the other one did. So
Yes,
I'm happy.
yes. And I'm just gonna make a little fun for a second because, I think with the angle difference, can see more of the doll station working back there, and I'm very, very sorry for the doll I left on the table.
Oh, the one in the middle, right between us, right? Let me see, right there. That one or that one?
Well, let's just say it this way. So you've got to figure out. This one, looks kind of creepy right now with the white eyes and the gray skin, but not so bad. It's this one, that one. I apologize.
Why?
Because if she was any closer, you could see how freaking creepy she is.
Yes, that's true. So tonight we're going to talk about Atlantis, fact or fiction.
Atlantis.
All right, it was a story started by Plato, and there's here. I'm gonna grab the other.
You're gonna grab
keyboard.
the third keyboard, because you guys got to realize that. And I have my laptop here. He has his laptop here, and then we have the camera up here. But below that camera is another monitor,
which is actually another computer.
Yes. So, it's just kind of crazy because, we have 3 keyboards, 3 monitors, and he's talking about hooking us up on a 4th monitor.
Well, just so I can see how clear it's coming out, because unfortunately the computer I use for broadcasting the show is got a good screen and everything looks clear to it, but the picture looks a little grainy that we're seeing on it back at ourselves.
Yes. So, hey, we're getting there. Right. But anyways, back on topic. Atlantis. Dun, dun, dun.
Right. And
the island of Atlas.
Right, which is literally under Wikipedia, our favorite place, Wiki. It is a fictional island mentioned within an allegory on the...
Allegory.
Okay, so I'm trying a pair of glasses where I can just glance up and down and things are still a little blurry, but it's better than going... like this all night.
Yes, yes, it is much better than you going like this all night.
Yeah. So, on the hubris of
Yes.
the nations in Plato's works, I'll let you pronounce them.
Timaeus and Critias.
Thank you.
Critias.
Um,
Yeah, I did it wrong the first time.
so, it represents an antagonist naval power that besieges ancient Athens, the pseudo-historic embodiment of Plato's ideal state in the Republic. All right, most people know the story of Atlantis. It disappeared in a day and a night. In 24 hours, it sunk in the ocean. It was a lost continent.
Yes. But, there's been so many people who have, searched over the years for Atlantis. And you just screens on me.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you were still skimming
Yes.
over that.
Now present day classicalists and philosophical. I can't talk tonight.
No, and welcome, Megan.
What? You threw me out there for a second. They still debate this. And it's amazing that they still debate this, and we're still searching for this. And there was even, documentaries. There's been countless documentaries of people searching and looking for the lost city of Atlantis.
Right, and we just watched part of a special the other day again, which kind of sparked my interest in being the topic tonight, by James Cameron, which he got because he's actually, which we discovered, he's actually part of the National Geographic's Explorer
Yes.
people. Excuse me. And what are y'all smoking? We are smoking cigarettes, believe it or not. Just plain old cigarettes. But, so he did that documentary a couple of years ago, and they are still searching for it, and there were numerous places he found that possibly could have been, I cannot remember the name of the French explorer and scientist that was with him, but was doing most of the exploring, but they kept tracing it back because Plato's story says they came from the west and through, what's the name of it? The Hercules things.
The pillars.
Yeah, the pillars of Hercules.
The pillars of Hercules, which is actually now called the Rocks of Gibraltar.
Right. So he kept searching, kept going farther west, and every civilization that has been uncovered from that point, though, they could find no evidence of weapons, peaceful societies, and he wrote this back in approximately 373, 375 BC. Because I've got contradicted. This says 373. Other information I looked up earlier said 375.
Yes.
But it was supposedly told to him by his grandfather, who was told to him by somebody else, which was they had heard it from Egyptians and so on and so forth, and it dated back 9,000 years prior to Plato's time.
Yeah.
So there's where the controversy starts with this. Can I go back to my other screen
Yes,
now?
you can go back to your other
Thank
screen
you.
now. While I was stabbing myself in the face with my straw and then trying to figure out where to put my drink.
All right. All right. There are 6 main theories on what happened to the supposed continent of Atlantis. Did you know that?
I know of a few.
Okay. First one, the idea of Atlantis was an actual historic place, not just an invention invented by Plato. The actual idea that it was a real place didn't start until around 1892.
Really?
Right. It wasn't considered anything besides a story, and it was just Plato's take on the human race and how he saw, how the world was at that point.
Okay.
All right. Let's see.
Yeah.
Right. So right there, 1882. See, I knew I
Yeah.
saw that somewhere earlier. Hey, I'm a little unprepared. What can I say? All right.
Now, this is one theory that I know about, that Atlantis was actually swallowed up by the Bermuda Triangle. Now, inspired by Donnelly, many later writers expanded on this series and added their own speculations as to where Atlantis may have been. And one of these writers was Charles Berlitz, grandson of the founder of the well-known language schools and author of many books on the paranormal phenomenon. And in the 1970s, Berlitz claimed Atlantis was a real continent located off the Bahamas that had fallen victim to the notorious Bermuda Triangle, a region of the Atlantic where a number of ships have supposedly disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Now, supporters of this theory point to the discovery of what looks like man-made walls and streets found off the coast of Mimi. Now, although scientists have evaluated these structures and found them to be natural breach rock formations.
Right. And I have seen numerous documentaries that have actually covered those structures off the face or off the coast there. And I still have, I'm still not 100% sure that they're natural. I mean, they're pretty squared off or rectangular, and they've got pretty square angles to them. There seems to be joints in them. I know, and I'm talking with my hands, and hopefully, no, I'm looking down at the screen, and my hand keeps popping up. Great.
Yes. Which actually, I'm going to joke and say that we can actually see the top of the back of the monitor there. I just noticed that.
We can see the what?
You can see the back of the top monitor.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry, that's as high as the camera goes, and I couldn't lower the other monitor anymore because of the.
Well, you know, if I can steal my tripod back from, it'll go higher.
Okay, that's like the tallest one I thought we had.
No, I have a taller one.
Okay, we'll see about that.
It's in the gear bag that we'll have to tell Daniel to bring
that
it.
might actually be back there.
Oh, okay. Well, then we have a taller laptop back there, or laptop tripod. Hey, I had half the word right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Here, this one
is another one that I know about.
All right, you know about this one, which I knew about this one too, which I did find interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting, especially with all the other things that go on and that we've talked about here on the show. Is that Atlantis was Antarctica, because there's lots of crazy stuff that happens on Antarctica, and there's all these zones that are really, really strange and off limits.
Restricted. Yeah, I was going to say restricted areas.
Yes. Now, another theory is that Atlantis was actually a much more temperate version of what is now Antarctica, based on the work of Charles Hapgood, whose 1958 book, Earth-Shifting Crust, featured a foreword by Albert Einstein. Now, according to Hapgood, around 12,000 years ago, the Earth's crust shifted, displacing the continent that became Antarctica from a location much further north than it is today. Now, this more temperate continent, he believes, was home to an advanced civilization, but the sudden shift of its current frigid location doomed the civilization's inhabitants, the Atlanteans, and their magnificent city was buried under layers of ice, which would make sense because of all the crazy stuff that they have found in Antarctica.
Exactly, because, we talked about it before. Like you said on the show before, about the expeditions that are down there. And why do 8 countries have permanent bases down there? I'm sorry, scientific research stations.
That, have a lot to do with the military.
Right. Who's saying conspiracy theory now? Not you. I beat you to it.
Well, and the crazy thing is, and I'm just going to go totally off topic, I'm so proud of my family.
Yes. What, you go off topic?
Oh, yeah.
Or are you proud of your family?
Well, me go off topic. We've talked about the Alexa and all the, Big Brother watching and everything, and it kind of brings in on this a little bit. For Mother's Day, we got my mother a Fire Stick, an Alexa Fire Stick, because her hand shakes so bad sometimes with the MS. I figured that one push button where she could then tell Alexa what she wanted to play on Netflix or Hulu or whatever would be so much easier for her. And my sister and I were discussing, and I said, and this is the only thing that's going to be in our house because I don't trust it, conspiracy theory sister here. And she goes, yeah, we got one for Christmas and we haven't hooked it up yet because I've heard weird things.
And we know somebody who we mentioned at the beginning of the show who has one, and or two of them, and even one in their motorhome they probably took to their other property. That
Yes.
I don't know.
But I was so proud about the fact that not only was my sister, kind of in on this Big Brother conspiracy theory thing idea, but my mother is too. So,
Yeah.
I was proud of my family. It was a very touching moment this morning. Anyways, back to Atlantis.
Right. And back to the Antarctica part of it. Just going to throw this in there. We're fans of the show Stargate, SG-1, the movie. I like Stargate Atlantis. And thing is they took this theory, and that's how they started the show with Stargate Atlantis. It was the Antarctic base.
Yes.
From the Atlanteans, or the ancients as they called them eventually, that had to do with it, and that's where they were based out of. So they kind of ran with that theory also.
Which, has me going, we've heard so many stories about there being, the governments kind of tell us things subtly in television shows and movies that kind of, slowly leak information. And, we've talked so much about the Stargate theories. And, I honestly haven't cracked some of the books yet. But, the whole theory behind Antarctica being something other than it is now, and all the things going on in Antarctica, like the no-fly zones. Why would you have a no-fly zone in Antarctica?
Yeah, that one definitely didn't make sense to me because, and these were they actually showed a pilot on one of these documentaries. I mean, I didn't look him up and check his service record, but why would someone where you could check that information out on come up on a show, be seen, and say, hey, we were flying, we had to make an emergency crossing for an evac for a medical situation. We went across it. They saw strange things happening. So, lights, things like that. So, all I'm saying. All
Aliens.
right. Interdimensional beings, possibly. All right. Here's another one of the most popular theories is the story of Atlantis was just a mythical retelling of the Black Sea flood.
And this is one of the ones that I, have not heard really, but it makes sense too as well.
Right. And on that documentary we were watching, and they were talking about the volcano eruption, or actually explosion.
Yeah, explosion.
Off the Isle of Greece.
Yes. But now, which one, Croatoa or?
You're asking me names, and I stink at names.
Oh God, what was the name of that island? Oh my God, I just totally forgot the name of the island. Tobago. No, that's not the one I'm thinking of. That one was in Greece.
I don't know. I'll get back to you in just a minute, Ruben, on your question in the chat room.
God.
All right. Anyway, there was a massive explosion from a volcano that within 24 hours, the island went from having a mountain to most of it ended up being in the sea. And it was very short, and now it's just a hilly range. And to get to your question in the chat room on Blog Talk, Ruben, is do we believe in Stargates? Yes.
Yes. Stargates? Yes. Or were you asking what a Stargate is?
We'll give him a couple seconds to answer on that, because we actually did a show that we talked about Stargates.
Yes.
And possible places there are ones. All right, so that is number 4 most popular theory. Atlantis, this is number 4. Atlantis is the story of the Minoan civilization which flourished in the Greek Isles circa 2500 to 1600 BC.
Now, this is another one that, I've heard of because of all my studies in ancient Greek mythology. Now, more recent Atlantean theories concern the civilization that flourished on the Greek islands of Crete and Thera, which is now Santorini, which is, more than 4,000 years ago. The Minoans, named for their legendary king, Minos, believed to be Europe's first great civilization. Now, the Minoans built splendid palaces, constructed paved roads, and they were the first Europeans to use a written language. Now, at the height of their power, however, they suddenly disappeared from history, and an enduring mystery has fueled the belief in a link between that great doomed civilization and Plato's Atlantis. Now, historians believe that around 1600 BC, a massive earthquake shook the volcanic island of Thera, triggering an eruption that spewed 10 million tons of rock, ash, and gas into the atmosphere, and tsunamis that followed the eruption were large enough to wipe out the Minoan cities throughout the region. And a devastation that may have made the Minoans vulnerable to invaders from the Greek mainland.
Right, which was actually covered in that special earlier.
Yes, because now that we're seeing
seeing the island,
it's the island of Thera, which is Santorin, which so it wasn't the one I was thinking of, but yeah, because there was a couple other big huge volcanics that
Right, but this one literally made it basically, instead of there being an island, it's now just a little hill surrounded by what's left of the rest of the island with water all the way around it.
Yeah, because if you old ancient maps of what this looked like, the island did have a little bit more of a shaping to it, with a little bit of an inlet sea into it. But now it's just kind of like a crescent as well, because it kind of really blew.
And here is famous or most popular belief number 6. Nope. Atlantis did not exist at all. Plato invented it. Most historians and scientists have come to the conclusion that Plato's account was fictional. The Greek philosopher invented Atlantis as his vision of an ideal civilization. The intended story of its demise was to be a cautionary tale of the gods punishing humans. No written record of Atlantis exists outside of Plato's dialogue, including in any of the numerous other texts that survive from ancient Greece. Furthermore, despite modern advances in oceanography and ocean floor mapping, no trace of such a sunken civilization has ever been found.
No.
Sorry. Fully believe that there had to have been one.
Well, because in some of the research that I've done, there's other civilizations, there's other histories that have talked about something that could be Atlantis that has disappeared.
Right, and it's been covered. I don't think we've actually covered it, but it's been covered before in different, and we're not just talking about the TV shows, but in other books and that, where other ancient civilizations have in their writings or in their handed down dialogues about advanced civilization. Here, I'm going to quote Giorgio. I'm not saying it was aliens, but it may have been aliens.
And it very well could have.
Right. So even the Atlanteans could have had, here, let's throw the Stargate show in there, Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
A giant floating
city.
That, all right, in the show it was a spaceship. I'm not saying it's a spaceship, but maybe there was an advanced civilization of aliens. But also, you have to think about anywhere between the 1600 years ago to the 10,000 years prior to that, an advanced civilization could have just had metallurgy compared to civilizations that didn't know how to work metals and irons and things into utensils.
Yeah. And to add to that, explain like the crystal skulls, where, you can think some people believe that aliens actually made those crystal skulls, or they're the skulls of some aliens. But, there's so much that has been lost to history, so many things that have been lost that maybe, that long ago, the human race actually could do stuff like that. I mean, there's so many things that, scientists and archaeologists discover every day that, it's kind of a question of, what is this? And how did they do this? How do they place these rocks so perfectly? And with that, the theory that Atlantis is actually Antarctica, you know, with the crustal shift, these people could have abandoned the island and gone elsewhere. Or they could have been advanced and been able to survive under the ice as it slowly went to the bottom of the planet.
Very possible. So I highly believe in that. Look,
And
Miss Deb Drews Johnson.
yay,
Or Johnson
Deb!
Drews.
Drews Johnson.
Hello, and I will get with you before Wednesday on how to be able to do this.
Yes. But with that, where was I going with that? Oh my God.
You were going with the fact that
Oh,
never mind.
wait.
Antarctica civilization sunk because of the ice.
Where the hell was I going? Where the hell was I going with
I
that?
don't know where you were going with this. I get lost with your train of thought. This is why I don't script anything anymore.
Where was
It doesn't help.
Where was I going with it? I don't remember. Oh my God, the thought just totally went poof out of my brain. I will think of it, and it'll probably be like the last 5 minutes of the show.
She'll blurt it out.
I will blurt it out and be like, that's where I was going with this theory on Atlantis. But hey, and big shout out to Deb Johnson DeRoos. Mama, happy birthday. Oh my God.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Oh my God. Did I really just try and tell her happy birthday? I did.
She says she's brain dead, or are you saying we're brain dead? And Ruben, nice that you were able to get into the comment section of
and yes, it could have, so many crazy, strange things happen in the Bermuda Triangle, with, oh, I know where I was going with it. I remembered, let's talk about the shifting of the Earth's crust. Now, let's add in the shifting of the magnetic poles and the ice ages. The Earth is believed to have shifted before on its magnetic pole. So that adds to the fact of, could it have been Antarctica? Because that long ago, the continents would have been in different locations slightly.
Yeah.
So, what if that polar shift happened a little bit that helped on top of the crustal changes? I know I'm talking with my hands.
Yep, you're doing what I do.
But that's where I was going with that. I remembered it. It did not take till the end of the show. That what if it is Antarctica, and because of shifts not only in the tectonic plates and the crust, but also shifts in the Earth's magnet.
Yeah, the magnetic field, which does cause different weather patterns.
Yes.
And we did a show that already talked about my theory on global warming and being actually just the magnetic poles getting ready to shift and change again.
Yeah, which actually, with all the research I've been doing for Saturday night's lecture, I actually found maps that have shown how it's changed in like the last X amount of time.
Yeah.
Don't ask me the years because I don't remember that part because
Right.
it wasn't important in the
Right,
lecture.
but we talked about, and I'm sure it's also in your research for next Saturday's presentation, you just found that magnetic north is also actually changed over the last X amount of years.
Yes.
So.
And like I said, don't ask me about it because I was kind of like, oh, hey, these maps are cool because I was looking for magnetic field maps and it wasn't what I was looking for. So, no, I have not. I've gotten into like chapter 1 and then I had to put it down for working on the research for Saturday. So I'm sorry, I have not read all of it yet.
And do you know who that person is? She asked the question. Brandon?
Who is Brandon? I don't know.
Not sure, Deb.
Click to the other screen.
Which one?
The chambers screen.
Getting up there. Think. Give it a second to reload. Hey, there we are. Hey, welcome, Vince.
Because I can't, because if somebody's making comments that's not a friend of mine, I can't see their comments.
Got ya.
So I am
Did
not.
I lost my
I'm
mouse.
not seeing this.
And I don't know why this is acting like that.
It is acting weird, but it's not going to let you scroll down.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
not letting me scroll. Why is it?
Let me see if I can't find it on my phone. Thank you for the heads up on this, Deb.
Okay.
Anyways. Let me hear. So we're just going to have a temporary break in our broadcasting here.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. There we go. Okay, I am not seeing his comments.
Yeah, not seeing the comments.
Nope. Let's see, I did find Vince's, hi guys, hi Vince again, but I'm not seeing Brandon's comments.
And it's just being weird. So we'll have to figure that out. And
Okay, I'm not seeing them. Here, I can unpin that comment right there because it keeps popping up.
oh,
It's driving me
yeah.
nuts. There we go.
Anyways, temporary delay here.
We apologize for any problems this may have caused. And just so Deb knows, I also got the blog talk thing figured out why it didn't record anything last week. Some dummy had the settings wrong on his mixer board.
Yes.
All right. Where were we? I'm going to skip here for a second. Okay. Da-da-da. Got me all off track.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Deb. Yeah, I don't know, because we're not seeing that.
No, I'm not seeing them on here.
Yeah, but okay. Anyways, back to the topic.
Right. All right. Now, according to what we said earlier, that the Atlantis theory wasn't brought up being an actual continent until 1892. But on another page, it was actually history.com. It states that in 1770 or 1679, the Swedish scientist named Olaus Rubeck published Atland, a 4-volume work in which he attempts to prove that Sweden was the original site of Atlantis, and all human languages were descended from Swedish. Okay, not buying that one.
No. Sorry, I'm typing to Deb.
I know, you're typing. Okay, Ruben could see him. We couldn't see him. Interesting.
I wonder. I don't understand that.
I'm curious if he was also the one that was in the Blog Talk chat room that left.
Possibly.
Never made a comment. Not sure.
Huh. Anyways. Okay, so now that we've been totally thrown off.
Yes. All right. Where were we? We were back to 1679, Swedish scientist. Olaus, I'm not buying that theory because it doesn't fit the Atlantean story.
No, it doesn't.
Because as far as I know, Sweden did not break off and fall into the ocean like the west coast of California eventually will.
Yeah. That's just, and plus with the whole, description of Atlantis, that would have been a little too far, and especially in that era.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Okay. So, I'm going to throw this out. I had pinned a comment for a little bit in the Facebook. Do you believe that Atlantis exists or did exist?
Yeah, that's for our listeners. What do you think? And unfortunately, there's like a 12, 15 second delay.
On this? Yeah, I know. So it's just kind of like, okay. And I'm going to say the reasons why I think it's possible that Atlantis existed was because of the so many mysteries that we have that surround our history, that it's kind of, it's something that I want to believe in, because I believe in ancient civilizations. I believe in ancient aliens as well. But it's a question of, could this have existed? And yes, because look at all the horrendous volcanoes that we've talked about happening. It could have wiped out a civilization. The shifts in the poles, the shifts in the tectonic plates could have done something to make the civilization disappear. And then there's the theory that, when these natural disasters started to happen, that I believe that the Atlanteans actually dispersed amongst the other populations.
I believe that too, because research has shown that, I know we talked about it on the show before, not just about civilizations, but the human genome. We all know, well, maybe we don't all know, but Lucy is supposedly the first, what am I trying to say, humanoid ape.
Yes.
The most humanoid ape they had found, and she was considered to be the start of the missing link. We discussed on the show before that it started to actually, they've discovered over the last, more or less just last 10 years, that it had split off so many more times and dead ended.
Mm-hmm.
The continental shifts, like you said, great possibility. There's too many things, and they've also found civilizations that have been carbon dated over 12,000 to 20,000 years old.
Yes.
That have had what at that time would be considered advanced civilizations.
And then I'm going to go on and expand a little bit on what Ruben said. He believes Atlantis did exist, just like he believes in spirit communication. And to add on to that, people who have done past life regressions, they remember lives living in Atlantis.
Interesting. That I haven't read any topics on that.
Yes. I've actually talked to a couple of people who, their past lives, they were Atlantean, which is interesting because then they also have past lives that were on other stars systems.
Yeah, that we've talked about before.
Yes.
That I've known about.
And then I love this.
Yep.
Kelly.
Yeah. Her mom, Terry, and her were talking about the show topic earlier today, and they both agreed it existed at one point. And I love the fact that you guys were talking about my show. Awesome.
Yay!
Mine and Myst. Sorry, forgot.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, come on. I'm trying to give you a hard time here.
Yes, you are trying to give me a hard time here. I know it. But I'm waiting for, the Queen Bee of the Mystical Awakenings Radio Network on blogtalkradio.com to chime in her answer. She's probably off chasing kids.
Yep. Oh, hey, look, I can actually scroll up and see who's listening. Deb,
Yeah.
Ruben, Kristen, and Kelly. So that means we lost Vince.
Oh.
He'll be back,
He'll
or
be
he'll
back.
watch it the whole thing over
Yes.
later.
Which is the great thing. And, it's, hey, okay, so, you got me to do the Facebook Live, and I don't really mind it that much.
But I just learned by you scrolling over that, you could see actually, oh no, there's the 4 that liked it. Thing. I can't tell who's actually.
If you go, for me, I have to go here.
Yeah, I don't have a watching now thing.
Okay.
Sorry, playing. I'm a geek. What can I say? You took my screen away from me.
I took your screen
Okay,
away.
Vince is still here. Okay. Sorry, Vince. I'm trying to figure out how many people. I mean, it shows me 4 people, but it doesn't tell me who's watching at the point. Huh. Learn something new. You can. I can't.
I don't know. Don't ask me. And he does come up here, but so we'll have to.
Hang on. Go back to the comments.
It lists his name.
Okay, never saw the comments up on our
Yeah.
screen though. Interesting.
So, but that could have been Facebook actually
Deleting them,
deleting them.
which would be
So,
cool. I give
yes.
Facebook a lot of credit.
There you go. There's that back because I need to close it down on my window. Close.
Okay, let's see. Right here, National Geographic, Ocean Explorer, Robert Ballard, he's also the one who discovered the Titanic in 1985, notes that he said that what Plato wrote about Atlantis is true, and he bases it on exactly what we just talked about. Cataclysmic floods and volcanic explosions have happened throughout history, including one event that had some similarities to the story of the destruction of Atlantis about 3,600 years ago. So,
yay! Science!
Science backs us up.
Now, but Ballard doesn't think that Santorini was Atlantis because of the time of the eruption on that island doesn't coincide with when Plato said Atlantis was destroyed.
Right, but he believes it was a possible scenario.
Yes.
So, I'm happy.
Yes.
Sorry. Let's see. Someone else believes Plato created the story to convey some of his philosophical theories. He was dealing with a number of themes that run throughout his work. His ideas about the divine versus the human nature, ideal societies, the gradual corruption of human society. Boy, this sounds familiar. These ideas are found in many of his works. Atlantis was a different vehicle to get some of his favorite themes. The legend of Atlantis is a story about moral, spiritual people who lived in a highly advanced utopian civilization, but they became greedy, petty, and morally bankrupt. And the gods became angry because the people had lost their way and turned to immoral pursuits.
Huh.
All right. But the funny thing is in the actual writings of Plato, he states that the people that lived in Atlantis were part human, part god.
Yes.
So,
which, I guess daddy or mommy could have gotten upset with everything, but, hey. But, I don't know. It's so long ago, but it's intriguing, and it's one of those mysteries of history that I just love.
yeah.
And plus with, all the studies that I've done in Greek mythology and all that, it's just, it's kind of like I kind of see so many different angles and everything. Like I've talked about it where, we all know that Rome took on the gods of Greece, changed their names, Zeus to Jupiter and all that stuff. But, there's so many similarities, so many stories about lost civilizations that sound like Atlantis from that era.
Yeah, and it's like we stated earlier that they all date back. They're across the globe. They're not just centered there.
No.
It goes with the same theory on the temples, or not temples. Temples / pyramids that were built around the world.
That
the similarities between them, the architecture of them, the hieroglyphs or
petroglyphs
that are on them have similarities.
You call them petroglyphs.
I call them pictographs. You call them by the actual name.
Tomato, right?
Yeah. Louisville and Louisville.
Louisville.
Yeah. Louisville. I know. You and Miley can, pick on me when we get the chance. Okay. Still got 10 minutes left on the show here.
So I guess then, so many of us believe in Atlantis, which is totally cool.
Right.
So I think just gonna add to the craziness of, don't forget to, just in case I run out of time here in the next 10 minutes, to listen to all the other great shows we have here on the Mystical Awakening Radio Networks. Obviously on Sunday nights, it's Chambers of the Paranormal, hosted by Paul Chamberlain and co-hosted by me, myself, and I. Because like I said the other night, sometimes it's like having, 3 people as your co-host.
Yes, it is.
Tuesday nights, it's Sacred Journeys, hosted by Beth and Barry Gilmer. Wednesday nights, it's a flagship show, Mystical Awakenings, hosted by Deb Johnson DeRoos and RJ DeRoos Johnson. Thursday nights, it's Paranormal X, The X-Files, A Journey Through the Unknown, hosted by, once again, me, myself, and I, and Daniel Mackin. Saturday nights, it's Veil of the Moon, hosted by Moonstone Wolf and Cryptor. And coming soon, it's Paranormal Pop, hosted by Brian Danhausen and XE Suzanne Smith.
Yes, and just speaking of that, Veil of the Moon will be broadcasting live from
the Anchor Inn at the Haunted Heights Paracon next weekend. That starts Friday night. The meet and greet starts at 5 p.m. at the Anchor Inn in Houghton Lake. And then I don't remember what times the doors open on Saturday.
Right, but gonna have a lot of great speakers, aren't they?
Yes.
And somebody still needs to finish their presentation.
What? What? Me? You know what?
So
I'll
if you're
get
gonna,
it done.
yeah. So we'll be in Houghton Lake next weekend.
Yes.
But we will be back in time to do the show
On Sunday.
on Sunday night. So we will be talking about the event next Sunday night.
Yes. I know there are so many great speakers that are going to be there. Andrew Perrin's going to be there. Beard.
I know I don't have.
Beard. Tim Woolworth.
I was going to say Tim.
Beard. Sorry, Tim. Beard. I was trying to think of the name. It totally went out. Daniel's going to be speaking. I'm going to be speaking. Rebecca Smock.
Beth and Barry will be speaking.
Yes. Brandon Muscaluso. And I forgot the other names. Dang it.
But going to be a great lineup.
Yes. I'll be speaking about Faraday and Faraday cages and EMF.
Yes, and Tesla coils.
Yeah, well, not really about Tesla coils, but I am using Tesla coils as a reference to a Faraday box cage.
Okay.
So, because, I can't talk about Faraday without talking about Tesla.
No, you can't.
Because you know what? If it wasn't for Faraday, people who play with Tesla coils would be fried.
True. So one of these days when you get a grown-up Tesla coil, you have a mini one right now you have to figure out how to put together.
Yes, because it didn't come with any instructions.
No, Barry gave it to you to try to figure out. Because I think he figured if you got zapped by it, better you than him.
Yeah, probably. It's just a little baby one, though.
Yeah, you get them, so luckily it's small.
And I think it'll only get charged off of like a 9-volt battery, so it's not going to kill me.
All right. My only comment about that is we use 3 volts in my what? Let's see. We use 3 volts, 2 AAA batteries, is it, in my 10s unit?
Yes.
And you've seen how much you can make my muscles jump if it's up too high?
Yeah, I know. He just kind of sits there and goes, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah. Sometimes she turns it up a little too high, I think, just to watch me, She goes, oh, look, it's like a taser. See, that's a guilty laugh right there. I know she does. All right, down to 6 minutes. The only reason I bring this up is because without getting into a lot of in-depth on the alien theory, transdimensional beings.
We just froze for a second, so I was like, hey, what?
Okay, well, we didn't freeze on the screen over there.
I'm Princess Leia.
Okay, since we have 5 minutes to kill here, we all know May 4th was Star Wars Day, because May the 4th be with you. And my boss at work, she came in with Princess Leia Cinnabon hair.
Yes, which was funny. And, because it was May the 4th, we both wore Star Wars t-shirts,
Yep.
which was funny because we go into a place and this guy's like, "Oh, that's cute. You guys are wearing matching shirts." And I'm like, "Well, mine's blue and has different stuff on it, and his is black." But it was funny. And then, like, later when we were at dinner, somebody asked us why everybody was wearing Star Wars t-shirts. So we had to explain that to her. And then later, Paul was wearing the same exact shirt as somebody.
Yes. That was down at the old mill.
Yes, that was down at the old mill.
So there was a private group in there investigating, and we went along with Debbie Markham Sager, with Debbie Sager to just kind of hang out because we were down in hell anyway. So got to see some friends down there. Adam, Tim, Beth, different Beth.
Yeah.
Tim's wife. You kind of gave me the look, Beth.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. Beth Rehan, Tim Rehan. So, yeah. At least I turned my head farther to cough off the air.
The Blue Star. Ah!
I am still recording that.
So that way you can use it when one of us makes a little slip of language.
Which the only one who tonight said anything bad.
I win.
Yes, for once you haven't slipped. No, it's actually twice because we've done 4. This is our 4th broadcast.
4th broadcast.
And there's only been one we didn't have to slip. I didn't have to do any editing.
Yeah, because I'm, I slipped twice.
Okay. I know we are trying to fill the last 3 minutes, guys. Sorry.
Which is funny because we never have this problem. And on Thursday night show, like Daniel and I were like struggling for the last few minutes because we talked through everything because he was just all chatterbox, and then all of a sudden it was like, crap, we talked about everything.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, oh my God. Well, like I said, without getting into a lot of other theories, it's because 7 to 8 minutes is not enough to get into any one of the theories.
No. But we've pretty much covered that, Atlantis most likely did exist. Some of us believe that it could have existed still to this day, like if it's down in Antarctica, buried under ice. And you know what? If they had enough time to, protect themselves, if they were an advanced civilization, maybe they had force fields. Because there's actually stories about some weird stuff like that with Atlantis. Maybe they had force fields and they were able to survive under the ice.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why there's military no-fly zones down there.
Right. Or
aliens.
Here we go, real quick, since we have a couple minutes left. In 2011, University of Hartford archaeologist Richard Freund and his team found memorial cities, or cities that were built in the image of Atlantis. The series of cities were found buried in the swamps of the Donana National Park, just north of Cadiz, Spain. So, just think about that. That right there says, if they built memorial cities to them.
Why would they have built memorial cities?
Had to exist.
90 seconds.
And sorry about that, because unfortunately for you to hear and Blog Talk to hear, that comes through.
And now I'm deaf. Because it's so freaking loud. Why did it stop on my screen here? That's kind of funky.
I don't know.
It kind of just chizzed out there. Oh, now I'm seeing his comments.
Okay, maybe I'd have to refresh.
60 seconds.
Okay, we're down to 60 seconds. So once again, we'd like to thank you all. And I can hear you back through your computer again. I don't know why. But anyway, thank you all for joining us. Join us next week. We'll be talking about the Haunted Heights Paracon and how it went and everything else. Everybody have a great night, and thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Have a great night.
Yes, and like Ruben said, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.